Because you have to analyze the status quo. There are talks that don't work at the end of the day. Right? And why is it exactly that these talks don't work? Because, look, at the end of the day, when China disputes with Philippines about the Spratly Islands, they can keep on talking forever. But at the end of the day, China is not going to just let 6 trillion barrels of gas sit there and do all of that. At the end of the day, Bashar al-Assad, even when he agreed to do a ceasefire, the very next day he decided to break it. What do you do under those circumstances? Because at the end of the day, we like peace talks. We really do want peace talks. It's when those peace talks don't work, what do you do? And here's a weird shift of thought. Because the first speaker came up and said, if peace talks don't work, we're going to go to war. And then suddenly they decided to give contradictory points, such as, look, we want to save more lives. And yet, by doing so, you're sending more people to war. How does that work? See, your whole case doesn't analyze what happens if peace talks don't work. Because our case is predicated upon the fact that peace talks don't work in the first place, right? In fact, here's what we showed you. We showed you that this would be better for peace talks. Because under our paradigm, Bashar al-Assad can't lie and say that I'm going to do a ceasefire and then not do a ceasefire. Because if he did lie, he knows that he'll have to go for a survival death match. China can't continue to broker long deals of negotiations. Because it knows that if it does, eventually it'll have to go for a survival death match. It has to push forward a peace deal, and it can't simply wait and then do a preemptive strike like what Israel did inside Gaza, or what Israel did inside Egypt, right? It just waited peace deals and then waited until one side slipped up and then it went straight to war. Because countries eventually give up. They can't wait for peace deals to keep on going forever and they eventually go to war. We thought there were two major issues in this debate. Firstly, who resolves disputes better? And secondly, what is the psyche of the society? I'll give you full analysis on how it resolves disputes better. 5 pieces of analysis. Number 1, we told you it saves more lives. Number 2, we told you it's much more quicker given the fact that these two sides are equal on the side of war. Number 3, we told you that it's indisputable. You can't dispute a guy dying there, guys. Number 4, and because it's indisputable, it's also more legitimate. Number 4, we told you it's fair. This fairness means that countries won't dispute it. And number 5, we told you it's by a neutral arbiter, somebody which they won't want to dispute. Right? And then they came up with weird arguments, like saying, look, we shouldn't go to war because we don't consent to it. So basically what you're telling me is that all of these soldiers didn't consent to go to war and yet you're okay with sending them. Because that's a contradiction. At the end of the day, it's easier to check one guy than lots of other people. The second idea is this, where they said, look, but this is better for society. And they said that by war, it does better social engineering. So basically you're saying that to socially engineer people to hate war, you're okay with killing hundreds and thousands of children, but you're not okay with killing people. Because at the end, but you're not okay with killing one person, because that's at the end of the day what we do, right? And they even ignored our case, right? We said it's a consenting adult. We said it was voted. We said it's exactly what a soldier would be, and they decided to talk about stuff like children. They gave you absolutely no analysis on how this will actually resolve disputes, right? But the second thing, and the second level of analysis they gave you, look, that's meant the leaders, the government will be running away. How is that mutually exclusive? George W. Bush wasn't exactly in the front lines of Iraq. He was chilling in his room with the rest of his cabinet. Same thing that's going to happen under their proposal. Same thing that's happening under our proposal. It's not at all mutually exclusive.